Hi, my name is Freddie and I'm a human and veterinary physiotherapist, and I would like to introduce you to some exercises that I think you should know if you're a rider in order to enhance your riding. I'm a rider myself, and when I bought my mare Cassie 6 years ago, my journey was actually to work out how my mare will give me her best, what I'll have to do for my mare to give me her best. And this took me some way down the natural horsemanship path, and I also met Mary Wanless of Ride With Your Mind, and I'm a big fan of hers because she is probably the most comprehensive riding instructor that I've ever come across. She's got brilliant cues that she helps the students with, and she goes into a lot of detail about what you have to do with your seat and with your hands and things like that. And her seat requires a lot of core strength and thigh strength. And a lesson with Mary, I would say, is of the intensity of a 1 hour plank, while you should still be able to move your arms and your legs independently. I soon found out when I got back into riding after a long break that my own personal limitations with my own body were the limitations for my riding, and I presume this is the same for everyone. And I also found out that many riders, especially if they're not at elite level, do not think of cross-training to increase their fitness to ride. I would like to show you some exercises that I think riders need to know in order to be able to enhance their performance. And it is my intention to show that this can be done if for whatever reason, like at the moment, I think a very big topic is the weather. We can't ride, but we still want to do something at the yard. And I would like to show you how you can even use yard equipment to help with the exercises. The exercises will be a series of spinal mobility exercises, stretching, core strength, balance, fit ball exercises, and some exercises that are called dissociation exercises, which basically mean that you have to concentrate on your core while you're still doing other things like move your legs or move your arms and stuff like that. I don't claim that I've invented the exercises, because some are from yoga, some are from Pilates, and others are just simple stretches that have been knocking about forever. I may give some of the exercises in a slant towards physiotherapy or riding, but overall, any one of you who does fitness for themselves probably knows these exercises anyway. There's a little warning that I want to impart on you here, and that is that what we see, like for example what's being performed in the videos, we can't necessarily transpose into what we do. Why are spinal mobility and core strength important? When we ride, we're imposing a frame onto the horse. We're basically embracing the horse's body with our legs while our torso sticks out on top. And our body will dictate through its tension or relaxation what the horse is to do. For example, the direction, the bend, the straightness, the speed of the horse. This tension then needs to be transferred onto the thighs, onto the rider's thighs, via the pelvis, while we're essentially facing forward. And if the muscle tension generated in this way does not get released afterwards, this can lead to chronic muscular tightness and shortening, discomfort, and ultimately stiffness of the spine, particularly of rotation in the upper back and flexion in the lower back. The spine should function as a unit in its entirety in order to absorb the energy that a bouncy horse is giving us, so we can sit still and reduce the disturbance and noise that we're giving our horse through unsteady hands or legs or a very unsteady seat. The lower and our backs, we can absorb the horse's energy there's still a more vertical upper body can remain, and this is important if we want to minimize the disturbance that we give the horse, because by sitting on the horse upright, we're actually raising the center of gravity of the horse. We do not achieve sitting still through relaxation alone, but through the correct amount of tension. And I always say to people that I like to compare the tension that our body has to have to a schooling whip. If we're too stiff, for example, like a broomstick, we will just bounce up and down on the horse uncontrollably. And if we're too floppy, like a bit of jelly or something like that, we won't be able to achieve anything and we'll probably fall off the horse. So if we're off the tension of a schooling whip, we will be firm enough to pose resistance or give impetus to the horse with our body, while we're still flexible enough to absorb the energy that the horse is giving us. Initially, I found it confusing that many instructors tell their students to relax, while Mary Wandness is actually telling the students to contract the abdominal muscles and to have more tension. She calls it stuffing, the picture that you have with the horse and with the rider together. If they're of the right amount of tension and impetus, she says there's good stuffing. If everything is a bit too floppy, she says that they don't have any stuffing. And it's quite true. I can actually see where she's coming from when she says this. And the cue that she's giving the people to get the abdominal tension is bearing down. And I've thought about this for a while, and I've come to the conclusion that there's no need to be confused about this, because it all has to do with the individual rider's starting point, whether more tension or more relaxation is required. So if you're very tense, you need to relax a bit more. If you're very floppy and low toned, you need to get a little bit more tension. Today we're going to show you some exercises that you can do on the floor. As you can see, a yard provides ample opportunity and lots of possibilities to do stuff on the floor. You can do it on a freshly made bed, or you can use a rug. But for the purpose of showing you the exercises so you can see them better, we're going to use a mat. And we've put a tarp out in our little common area out there, and put the mat on the tarp just to keep the mat clean, but the mat on its own will do as well. Okay, the first exercise is the rolling the spine up and down and standing. And the whole point of the exercise is that you work at one vertebra after the other. And what I would like Lisa to do is, when she goes down, I would like her to start with the head and then go down, head, upper neck, lower neck, chest, and then the lower back. And coming up in reverse order. Lisa is wearing her coat at the moment because it is really cold today, and I don't want her to get cold before we're even warmed up. We're going to do pelvic rocking now. The pelvic rocking is quite important to have enough mobility again in your lumbar spine to catch the movement that the horse is giving us. So Lisa, I would like you to push your back down into the mat now, and you can see how the bottom of the bottom tilts up, and then Lisa is going to push her back up again. Maybe if you just take your hands up onto your chest a bit more so people can see what's happening in the back. I don't want to take any more clothes off Lisa because it is not very warm today. And you can see her hair blowing in the wind, so you can get an idea how the wind is whistling through. Keep doing the movement, okay. And the next one is, I call that doing around the clock, because now the pressure, if you imagine your sacrum is the face of a clock and you have 12, 3, 6 and 9. I want Lisa now to put pressure on the points that have 12, 3, 6 and 9. Let's see how Lisa can do it. If she finds it difficult, she's never done this before, if she finds it difficult, I'll have to go and help her out. Okay, yes, and it's a bit like hula hula. Imagine you're trying to have a hula hula ring around your midriff and you're standing there and doing that. It's a little bit similar. Yeah, that's good. That's really very good. And the idea is now the pressure is here, there, there. Good. Okay, can you do the other way around? Thank you. Right, the next exercise is just a very simple swinging the legs from side to side, and you can see we've covered Lisa up again. I will quickly uncover her so you can see what's going on. And the idea is that the shoulders are supposed to stay on the floor and we get spinal rotation. So the pelvis is moving, the pelvis is moved by the legs and the shoulders stay on the floor, so we get the rotation. It's very simple and I would think every one of you has done this before. The next exercise has different names depending on whether you come from yoga or Pilates. In yoga, the final position is called the bridge. I like to call it the chain because the idea is to move the spine vertebra by vertebra like a chain, like each link of a chain goes up from the floor one after the other and then goes back down onto the floor one after the other. This requires quite a lot of concentration, especially at the end when you only have the pelvis to deal with. And a lot of people would probably find it a bit difficult in the thoracic spine as well. It depends on your body awareness. But again, this is a very good exercise to teach you awareness of what you're doing with your back, but also it will enhance your spinal mobility, which is what you need, what we're looking for. Get yourself off the floor, one leg after the other. Imagine each vertebra is the end of the chain, and now lift yourself back down. Okay, I think you've got the idea. You can stop. The next exercise has different names depending on whether you come from yoga or Pilates. In yoga, the final position is called the bridge. I like to call it the chain because the idea is to move the spine vertebra by vertebra like a chain, like each link of a chain goes up from the floor one after the other and then goes back down onto the floor one after the other. This requires quite a lot of concentration, especially at the end when you only have the pelvis to deal with. And a lot of people would probably find it a bit difficult in the thoracic spine as well. It depends on your body awareness. But again, this is a very good exercise to teach you awareness of what you're doing with your back, but also it will enhance your spinal mobility, which is what you need, what we're looking for. Get yourself off the floor, one leg after the other. Imagine each vertebra is the end of the chain, and now lift yourself back down. Okay, I think you've got the idea. You can